Welcome in, everyone, to AOR America. I am Curtis Kenyon. Alongside me is Austin Knight. Going to be a fantastic race, everyone, I think.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. You good?
Hello, everybody. How are y'all doing today? Hope you guys are having a great day and a great way to end out your day with the PC Americas League here at the circuit. Paul Ricard.
Should be a fantastic race, honestly. We've seen some excellent racing over the weekend, and this one, just to round it out, the Americas League has brought us some interesting racing and setups, but it has been sort of a one-two-man race most of the time. But the track facts for this race, well, let's face it, they could be a little bit better, honestly. You know, poor access, etc., etc. A lot of drivers really don't mind the track. It's the spectators that seem to kind of have an oddity for this. Soft, super soft, and ultra softs are available to the racers. And I believe we saw, what is it, one stop?
Yes, it is a one-stop prediction. You can go either ultra soft to soft, but that is a very risky strategy. You might see a few tire issues off at the end of the race if you want to extend that. The optimum strategy is super soft to soft tires. You could do soft to super softs, but your pace at the start is not going to be that good. So the ideal strategy is super soft to soft tires. We've seen most of the winners today use that, but everyone's currently going out on the ultra soft tires right now, so not a lot of, but we do have 20-minute qualifying, 18-minute qualifying sessions, so don't take that as fact and law.
Yeah, no, I think this is going to be a fantastic race. And so if you guys are paying attention in the chat, this is where we start experimenting with things. So if you don't like it, if maybe we need to change that out, we can do that, or change it up. We can do that. Your feedback in the chat is greatly appreciated. So we're going to go ahead and go to the track, and we're taking a look at ZWomp right now. As the game freezes. That's fantastic. Yes, that's right. I have put on just a little bit of echo to make it sound like you guys are at the track. And like I said, if we need to adjust it, let me know.
I am not going to even pay attention to that chat. I don't understand a thing going on in there. I'm sorry, I don't speak Spanish.
Yeah, me neither.
But ZWomp making his way through the first few corners and heading down the back straight, opens up DRS and is looking pretty good. But Kingy AV sitting the first provisional pole lap of 1:36.16. That time's definitely going to fall down. But all these guys looking very good. Fluffy Dave sets a new provisional pole on the ultra soft tires of a 1:29.757.
I'm making adjustments, Austin, so it's all you, buddy.
Alrighty. Thank you for that. Letting me have the full-on reins. ZWomp Mercedes driver driving with the #1 thing. I don't know if this is the first season, so I guess he said, you know what, I'm going to drive with the #1. But currently, the #1 person in the championship is some idiot with 123 points. He is leading the Ferrari of Raven by 22 points right behind. In third place, it is Fluffy Dave driving for Toro Rosso, who is currently top of the timesheets right now. Fluffy Dave is got 29-point gap to, no, Fluffy Dave has a 29-point gap to some idiot in the lead. In fourth in the championship is Kingy AV. King AV driving from McLaren. He's actually got a new teammate today. Jonathan AI had a bit of an issue with his wheel, and I would like to welcome to the league for the very first race in time, driving for, I believe, his 3rd day on wheel, is Jolly Dun. Or, yeah, J-Dog. I call him J-Dog. But Jolly Dun has replaced Jonathan AI, who's had a wheel issue, and he's new to the wheel, so I believe Jonathan AI will be happy with his replacement today. He's currently sitting in 11th, but I believe he's on a flying lap right now. Opens up DRS and comes across the line, and he does improve his time to a 1:32.933. That time's definitely going to fall as Frost Taco. Wow, that is a name. AOR Frost. Is that Frost Taco?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, Frost Taco sits in 11th place at a 1:32.397. I'm only going to do like the top 10 of the places since we have a lot of reserve drivers in here. And some of them are not in right now. So who is on a flying lap?
I got it set on ACR Raven.
All right, let's take a look at the driver in 2nd place in the championship and in the currently running on the soft tires. Now, we've seen Raven do this a lot in qualifying. He'll treat the qualifying session on the hardest tires like it's a extra practice session to get a better feel of the track, and then at the end he hits in and then puts in a banger of a lap. What do you think of Raven's strategy?
You know, Raven's been doing this for quite a while, and it works for him. And honestly, with these types of strategies, it really just comes down to how the driver's feeling at the time and what he feels that he can do, or she, if you will. Raven, this is how he does it. He likes to go out there on the harder compounds and then figure out the track, make sure the setup is good, rubber in the track too. It's a long qualifying session, and just go for it. So we'll have to see a little bit later on. I think, honestly, give him about 3.5 minutes or so, and then we'll start to see some serious pace from him. Probably a gain at about 1.5 seconds or so.
Yeah, I expect pole times to be about 1:28. We might see a 1:27 from championship leader Some Idiot, or Raven might bang in a 1:27, or we might see some other person pop into the low 1:28s, maybe close into the 1:27s with a yellow flag at sector 3. Now, yellow flags in qualifying are usually just people letting people by and just backing off of their laps and just letting people by, you know, courtesy aspect, as Raven is still just doing that. Let's check in on the championship leader, Some Idiot. He's running around on those ultra soft tires. Now, Some Idiot's qualifying strategy is usually do a bunch of cider laps on the faster tires, and then he switches to the medium compound. In this case, it'll be the super soft tires, and then goes for a massive flying lap. But Some Idiot comes across the line right now, and I believe this will be his flying lap because he's opened up DRS and everything. So let's watch Some Idiot as he takes us around Circuit Paul Ricard. Paul Ricard is a 15-turn circuit. Shifts down to 4th gear into turn 3. Keeps it fairly planted into turn 4. Turn 5, you shift down to 2nd gear. Probably shift up to 3rd. Goes up to 4th and 5th. Out of 6th gear, then heading down to the back straight through turn 7. That's where we're going to see a lot of action today with the DRS and just slipstreaming. And all that action pays off right here. The 8-9 chicane at the middle of the back straight. Somebody making it look very nice. He's been fairly in control of the championship with 3 wins so far. So, yeah, Some Idiot just very comfortable out here today. What do you think of Some Idiot's performances so far this season? Ninja left the comment box. Okay.
No. I'm, like I said, I'm making adjustments. I'm using qualifying to kind of make adjustments and things. Guys, unfortunately, we don't know how to speak English, so... we don't know how to speak English either, but we don't know how to speak Spanish. So if you can in English, that'd be awesome. Try to figure out if this will work for, I'm pretty sure it won't work for some people, but if we can get some input, that'd be awesome. Fluffy Dave's out on an outlap, actually.
All right, let's take a look at Fluffy Dave sitting in third in the championship. Fluffy Dave also at the top of the leaderboard, so let's see if Fluffy Dave could have a good outlap and set up for a flyer of flyer laps and increase his time on ACR Raven, who sits just behind him. And he's in the pits for super soft tires. King AV is also in third. He's on his outlap, but all eyes are on Fluffy Dave as we are going for a flyer with Fluffy Dave. Yeah, feedback is requested on the effects that we got on our voice to make it sound like we are trackside, and you guys are also trackside to improve your viewing experience.
We kind of like to mess around with things here at the America side of things. Although the usual experiment of using the Stream Deck is offline at the moment, hence the overlay, unfortunately. But Fluffy Dave making his way through Sector 1, got a 24.2, I believe that was. Looking fantastic, I'd have to say.
Yeah, Fluffy Dave flying around very good. He's not on a flying lap right now. As I can see, he's switched down the ERS to 1 and doesn't even have DRS open, so I believe he may have invalidated his lap on the exit turn 2 when he ran across the curbs. So strict corner cutting rules are on, and in France it is very strict. So once again, penalties are also a big issue here in France, since the track limits are, if you go out just a tiny bit, you will be penalized or given a warning. The reason that is if you remember earlier this year, there was that issue in France where people would just hot lap the outside of the track and be getting like some stupid times. So 103, I think, was the fastest time I've ever seen around here.
What in the world?
The track limits weren't set properly, but Fluffy Dave heading into the pits right now. Let's take a look at some idiot who's on his outlap on the super soft tire. So with 4 minutes to go, some idiot is looking very good right now on his outlap, not running any ERS. One of us is louder than each other.
That might be true.
We're Americans, so
well, I mean, it probably doesn't help that I'm not exactly talking a lot, but according to all the levels that I can find, everything looks good as far as that goes.
I believe it's just thickness and volume. You're more deep, I'm more high. Don't you guys?
Actually, yeah, that's a good point. Let's just adjust that a little bit. There we go. Let's try that. All right.
All right, some idiot on his flying lap, pedal to the freaking metal down the front straight, diving into the first turn. A little bit of adjustment on the wheel, trying to keep it within both lines and not invalidate his lap, which has been a problem for a few drivers today. As we saw with Fluffy Dave, who's sitting in the pits. Some idiot's the only driver here not to complete a lap. So where would that put him in pace?
I don't know. He's looking pretty quick. Kingy AV actually just knocked up the fastest lap time by a long ways.
Yeah, 0.1 second is the gap to Kingy AV and second of Fluffy Dave. It is a long ways. 0.1 second is all you need sometimes.
And if it gets you there, it gets you there, right?
Also, look at some idiot. His teammate is in front of him, providing him a little bit of a tow. I don't know if that's affecting him on the front straight, but it will be an advantage just a little bit as we see Lundqvist Bro just giving him all the room that he needs. And we are perfect. Thank you, PLG SO1P, for that feedback.
Yeah, that's been communicated. No worries. Like I said, we're trying to figure all that out as we go. And like I said, I got a new piece of equipment I'm trying to play with, and some idiot is just about to finish off his lap time. It will be a little bit. Oh, never mind. Okay, I keep forgetting that start-finish line is so much closer. It's so close to that last corner. Paul Ricard, you tricky track.
Yeah, the pit lane is in a very odd spot. I've seen a incident actually where a car wanted to go to the pits, but he was on the outside of another car that just wanted to go forward, and they just had a massive collision. Luckily, both of them still finished the race, but it was just unfortunate for both drivers that that has happened. But some idiot with 1 minute 38 to go is gonna probably go in for another out lap or take this a nice leisurely cruise back in. Let's go on board with Fluffy Dave, I believe, who is on a flyer of a lap, or is going on a, yeah, he's on an out lap right now. He's he's just driving all across the track like he owns it. I saw that, Fluffy Dave.
Looks like Kingy's gonna go ahead and lock in that time frame.
Raven.
Oh,
Well, all those side laps that Raven did paid off, and he is sitting in provisional pole. Some idiot is officially not going to go try for another lap on these 1 lap old tires. Kind of an odd choice for some idiot, but he might go on for another one just for the heck of it. But Raven takes pole. The championship fight is still alive.
oh yeah.
Ferrari versus Williams.
Oh yeah, by a long ways. No, this is nowhere near over for sure, as Raven has been looking really good in qualifying pace, but once they get into the race, I mean, some idiot just lights it up. It's some level of trickery that nobody seems to understand coming from some idiot.
Some idiot is more of a race pace driver than what some might say qualifying driver. I've seen Raven as a qualified driver. Fluffy Dave decided, I'm not going to try out for another lap. I'm going to head off. It was 4 seconds remain in qualifying, and we are finished. Let's take a look at Triton's on a flying lap. He is on a banger, actually. I think it was a second. No, he's cutting the track. That's KCR Racing heading into the pits. Sharkbait 98. He had a interesting race in Canada where he wasn't on screen for us. He is on his in-lap as well.
Yeah, really.
All these guys like to finish on time and don't want to be the last guy to keep everyone waiting. Let's look at Maku, the Toro Rosso driver. He's going through sector 3 right now on max ERS through turn 14 and through the final turn of turn 15. I believe he's on
outside.
He is on a flyer, but he's ran. Oh, his ERS management just failed him right there, and he was experiencing degradation at the end of the lap.
Oh, okay, that's what that was.
So, intergalactic gentleman going into the pits. Our last driver, it's a full grid today, is Altony, who's heading into the pits. So that is your qualifying order. Ninja, do you want to give us a little rundown of the qualifying order when that screen pops up?
Yeah, no, will do. Yeah, and I have to admit, this qualifying's been quite a bit closer than I thought it would be, with Raven taking the provisional pole at this point. Honestly, he's looking really good. It seems like this track suits him fairly well. I know that some idiot does seem to kind of work off of landmarks, if you will, kind of an old school racer. But Raven is able to just run the track and kind of figure it out by muscle memory, and it's really important, honestly, I think, at a track like this, because there really isn't a whole lot of trackside sort of signage or roads or bridges or any of that. This is technically a test track. It's designed to be a test track. So, well, I mean, we'll have to see how it goes. I mean, some idiot will start to learn this track and be able to keep up with Raven, I'm sure. That said, I mean, basically a half a second coming through is quite a bit, especially here at Paul Ricard.
Yeah, Paul Ricard used to be an actual racetrack, then they modified it to be more of a test track, and that explains the miles and miles of blue and red runoff area, which, fun fact about that, the red is actually higher gripping tarmac than the others, mixed in with tungsten rock.
Yeah,
it gives the car a bit more grip to save them from tire barriers.
Exactly.
So track safety is a thing. But They do have a bit of barriers with, sorry for the voice crack. They do have a bit of barriers with breaking points, but Ninja is going to redo the qualifying.
Yeah, ACR Raven taking the pole position. Some Idiot second place. Kinky AV, nice qualifying there for third. Fluffy Dave coming through with a fourth. Spider, fifth. Max KZR Racing, a good qualifying from him, sixth place. Triton, another great qualifying for him, seventh place. And Muddy Water, Mud H2O coming through with an eighth. Fantastic job from him. Sharkbait 98, and I didn't quite catch the 10th place qualifying starting position. And so as we go ahead and wait for the game to load into the start screen, we're going to just kind of turn that off. Guys, what do you think? I mean, obviously I'm making adjustments here and there as we go, and I actually just picked up a mixer board, and that's what I'm doing this through. So if you have any questions, please feel free to hit us up on Twitter, hit us up in here, Discord, whichever way, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have to try to figure this out. And if you have feedback, it's been fantastic. So thank you very much. PGLS01 has been awesome for that. And if you don't like it, let me know. I don't mind turning it off.
Apparently, Frost Taco is a girl.
That's what some people were saying, yes.
I didn't know if they were trolling, but there's multiple posts that saying Frost Taco is a girl. Well, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's a new one.
Well, it is Frost Taco in 10th, as they're all heading out for a flying lap. All of these guys looking very, and girls, looking, all these drivers looking very confident. As let's look at the tires. Raven and somebody, both of them running on the super soft tires. Max KZR Racing up through King AV, 3rd through 6th, all on the ultra soft. Super softs for Sharkbait, Mud, and Triton, all on the super soft tires. Frost Taco, we were just talking about her. Ultra soft tires in 10th. Z3 Mikey starting on the soft tires with Z-Womp and Kane Jr. Heineken and Manku starting on the super soft tires. They're going to be looking for a very interesting race and hopefully a good jump on the start. Speaking of jump on the start, Intergalactic Gentleman starting on the ultra soft tires, going for that extremely long one-stop strategy, or he might try to do 2 stops. In his first race with McLaren and in this league, Jallydun starting on the super soft tires down in P15. Good qualifying by him. He just started racing with a wheel, by the way, 3 days ago. So
oh man,
that is impressive.
That is very impressive.
Also starting on super soft tires. Zwamp and Kane, I talked about them. And then starting on the last row, it's Altony and Lundqvist, bro, both of them on the super soft tires. So it's a full grid here, which I believe is the first time we've had this in AOR Americas.
Yes, I believe so. Usually we're sitting at about 18 max. And Lundqvist Pro, again, not having a great qualifying session. He has been struggling as of late, and honestly, I don't know why. He's shown a ton of pace before, and also in a variety of leagues here at AOR. So, guys, if you're interested, check out ApexOnlineRacing.com. A whole ton of gaming action going on there as well. Don't get me wrong, F1, RF2, Project Cars. We've got a whole bunch of things there to...
Don't forget about Rocket League.
And, well, I mean, Rocket League's around, but, you know, taking a bit of a backseat to the racing, if you will.
Yeah, the whole R in AOR stands for racing. And maybe rockets.
Possibly.
But let's get off of this tangent and get ready to go as it's 5 red lights. And here we go at the circuit of Paul Ricard for the AOR Hype Energy F1 American League Round 8. Great start. Heineken gets a good start. Triton and somebody jumps ACR Raven on the start. They go 2x2 through turn 1, but Raven holds out somebody as cars go extremely wide. There's a massive crash at the very back. Oh no. Jaldon has got collisions. There's carbon fiber all over the track. Pranky. So they're still raving, but Pranky, Intergalactic Gentleman banging wheels. As let's return back to the leaders right now with Some Idiot and Raven. It's both of them leading little one by one down the back straight, or the Mistral straight. I'm not going to attempt to say that the entire time because I'm going to bottle it, but look at that. Haas. I believe that's Triton heading up the inside of Spider. They bang wheels just a little bit, but look at Mud up the inside, and side by side they go. I believe Mud might have the jump on Tritons. They go side by side through turn 10, but no, Mud's going to slip behind of Triton as they're continuing this lap. A little bit of contact for them, but amazing start from Altsny. Starting on the last row, he's jumped up to P14 right now, so we got a yellow flag in Sector 3. What has happened in Sector 3? But cars are just going all over the place. Ooh, Intergalactic Gentleman having a massive contact, but Zwamp getting a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Wow, that is a crazy, interesting first lap here in France. We had almost everything except for a safety car, unlike in Canada.
Oh, Canada. Let's not talk about Canada. It looks like we have a pit caller already.
Kane Jr. hopping into the pits. There was a lot of carbon fiber off the track outside of turn 2 as Prankin gets a stop-go penalty as he enters the pits. Both Force Indians in the pits, not good for them. Raven was leading by, it looked like a second down the front straight, but somebody has closed that down to about a half a second right now. I'm not going by the in-game timer, going by it, since that is sometimes not the most accurate, but Raven leads off the field, followed by some idiot. The top 5 looking very good right now, but what a start by Altsny. Moving up 5 places from the back of the grid.
I mean, can't argue with results, am I right?
Yeah, the results are there. And Jaldun and Air, Jallydun, Jallydun spins his car. Gets a little bit loose on the exit as he was having a battle with Intergalactic Gentleman. P15.
Yeah.
Don't know how Intergalactic Gentleman jumped Altsny right there. But Altsny went a little bit slower. May have had the same issue that Jallydun did. He is a new driver to the series and everything, and to the whole racing wheel aspect, so he is someone to watch. As another good start we had is Mud H2O, the Muddy Water, as DRS has been enabled. Muddy Water jumped up 2 places up to P6.
You know, we spoke to Mud a couple of weeks ago, and he said, you know, he does this for some fun. He's not super competitive at it, but when he does get into the groove of things, he can be extremely fast. And 6th place, I think, would be the highest that we have seen him on the track this season, at least since the beginning of the season, for sure. So good to see him up there in the Mercedes, and looks like he is fairly stable too. He seems to be moving pretty smooth, although he might be passed here. Challenged by Triton.
Triton looking extremely close on, and he does get it. The Mistral Straight looking very nice. I keep wanting to tell it by the actual wind that is heading through there, but apparently it's not that.
No.
Oh, Mud is gone off, but he's in the wall. His car is still intact, but a giant power slide by the Muddy Water as he's limping his Mercedes back. He has his wing still intact and all of his wheels intact as, Frost Taco has left the session. Hopefully she can get back to us right there. Frost Taco made a good jump up to P7 before her disconnection, so hopefully she can get back to us. But Muddy Water was looking very good until that, but he does do this for fun. As the gap to Raven and somebody has fallen, has actually gained up to 2.1 seconds. Somebody was asking for the leader to gap to the leader, so know who is fighting. This is the interval gap. This is not the interval gap is what you want to be looking at, and this is how you usually see who is fighting what, but some idiot 2.3 seconds down on his championship rival. So both of them on those 3-lap old super soft tires, but somebody is known for saving tires more. Raven's more known for all-out pace. So different strategies between these two. Somebody the more strategically minded of the drivers, but Raven's just got that pace. As Triton is challenging move on Spider, sitting in that draft
And, you know, we were talking about some idiot as this battle. Oh, wait a minute. Spider. Oh, no, he went outside the track.
Oh, he's off the track. And it's going to be Triton up into P5, taking that advantage of that mistake off of Spider. So Triton looking very nice as he's just slowly moving his way up the field on those super soft tires.
Triton, honestly, you know, we should have a look at...
Ooh, Fluffy Dave's gone into the pits. Fluffy Dave has dived into the pits on those 4-lap old ultra soft tires. Kenyon AV staying out with them as we should look at...
We got some movers and shakers this race.
I saw that, but Frost Taco is back in the race.
Oh, very good.
I think that's what caused it. I'm gonna be honest.
Caused
hopefully
the shuffle.
Yeah, we got a car off. Why is we got a car off somewhere in sector 3? Oh, Pranky! Oh, Pranky! Control your car. Pranky's car almost shot off the track where the Muddy Water had his incident, but Pranky keeping it all together as Spider is still trying to follow Triton on those worn ultra soft tires.
Oh, Pranky's got suspension damage. That car is not turning right.
I don't think suspension damage is calculated in F1 2018.
He's got something going, because it will not turn correctly.
Ricky is on super soft tires, so I don't know. It might just not have the best car setup. Oh, Mancu getting extremely close to Z Mikey. Made up tons of ground in turn 11. Ooh, big lockup from Mikey. Look at Mancu trying to move the Toro Rosso somewhere around of the Renault. Mikey going wide. Does Mancu diving up the inside? Will be an outside move. Look for the switchback, and Mancu side by side on the exit down the front straight. Ladies and gentlemen, buckle your seatbelts because we got a drag race here in France. Mikey leading it. Mancu dives out into the inside. They're side by side heading into turn 1, and it's going to be Mikey defending it from Mancu, but Mancu's getting a run on the exit of turn 2, heading into turn 3. This battle between the... Ooh, Mancu locked up the brakes and tapped into the back of Z Mikey. They hit again. I don't know how hard that front wing is, but I wouldn't want to be abusing that front wing, honestly.
And I'm trying to figure out what Mikey is trying to do. I think he's kind of tapping the brakes, just trying to get the car set into corners. He doesn't seem to have the speed through the middle part of really any corner at this point. Mancu's just catching him like crazy.
Mancu is on the higher grip tire, remember. He's on the super soft tires. Pranky is on the soft tires. Big lockup from Mancu coming down the Mistral Straight as they go through the chicane. Oh. Mancu! Oh, that is not going to help any battle that you're in if you just fly that back end out and lose tons and tons of time. So disastrous for Mancu right there, as most of the drivers have kind of separated from thing, except for the Williams of Lundqvist Bro and Z-Womp, as they're, I would say, the closest drivers on track right now. Battle for 11th, but you gotta, it's all about pride as Spider is heading into the pits on the ultra soft tires. Raven leading some idiot by 3 seconds, and Triton by 8 to some idiot. So all these guys are fairly spread out, but I remember, like, just last in Canada, it all came down to the very last lap.
Yeah, no, it really did. Canada showed the fact that drivers needed to have a specific strategy in mind as they approach the race, and to stick to said strategy. As Lundqvist Bro diving out of the final corner.
Whoa. Lundqvist, that is a very risky move. He didn't get the best exit as Z-Womp is now racing him and flies ahead. Lundqvist Bro does have DRS, so we're back into the drag racing. Who's gonna get first? Ooh, big lockup for Z-Womp as Lundqvist takes 11th place by force. A bit really aggressive force. They tap wheels just a little bit. The hand of anger flies up in Lundqvist as Z-Womp dives down the inside turn 3 and around the outside in turn 4. and takes position as Lundqvist is just trying to get that. Oh, Max KZR Racing also gets the overtake on Lundqvist as he's trying to regain control of his Williams car. But Max KZR Racing, all those fresh walled super soft tires, 1 lap old tires, I must say. Now, the super soft runners who started this race, that will be Raven, Some Idiot, Triton, Sharkbait, Mancu, Jolly Lundqvist Bro. Yes, those are the ones who started on the super soft tires. They should be expecting to pit in around lap 10, lap 11 before they switch to the soft tires. A little bit of insights of strategies. Thank you to Some Idiot and other drivers. As look at Max KZR Racing just easily maneuvering his car around Max around Zawamp. I'm sorry.
We're actually having a look here at Mancu and Mikey battling it out nicely. It's been a very close race here for the last few laps for these two, battling for points. A 5th and 6th place up for grabs if they can keep it clean. And honestly, it kind of seems like that's the tough part of this race, as it looks like Kingy is starting to get involved as well.
Yeah, Kingy riding the back of Mancu like a surfer on a wave, and look how fast Kingy has gone side by side into the brakes, so they both of them locked up the brakes. Oh man, Mancu shot his car all the way up the track trying to find a way around Kingy AV, but no, Kingy made it look easy. He is on 2 lap old fresh super soft tires, so that is also a key to his pace. He's going for the 2-stop strategy, looking for another pair of super softs later on. So Kingy AV is all about the pace for the McLaren driver as he's challenging for P5 right now, trying to get past the soft walled tires of Z Mikey. Now laps 5 through 10 are going to be all about the soft tires having the grip. Once it gets to about lap 7, as Sharkbait has left the session, hopefully they can get their car back on track. He's sitting in 4th. Look at Kingy down the inside, and both the Toro Rosso drivers are battling as Fluffy Dave and Mancu are having a teammate battle. But Kingy AV leads Mikey through turn 1. Fluffy Dave dives down ahead of Mancu as the Toro Rossos exchange position. Fluffy Dave 3rd in the championship, 4 laps on these super soft tires, as Kingy AV is going to try to overtake the ghosted car of Sharkbait 98. No challenge from them, as the AI is not as quick as humans. So we got a yellow flag in sector 3. Ooh, that's mud.
There's a big group. Kingy,
Mikey,
Fluffy
and
Dave. Yeah,
Fluffy Dave. Both of those guys are very good. I'll let you talk. I'm sorry.
No, you're all right. I think it's mostly because Sharkbait is the ghosted car right now, and I don't think anybody really realizes it. And
no, they notice. They know.
Yeah, there it goes. And finally, he was able to make his move. Fluffy Dave finally getting past Sharkbait, but there's a huge group there. But they find themselves 4th through 6th at this point.
Raven is diving into the pits, by the way.
Oh,
the leader is in the pits. There was a 3-second gap to him and Some Idiot, so we can go into our spectator thing and put the gap to the leader. Now, it's a very odd long pit lane here in France, and the gap, I believe, is 21 seconds would be that Some Idiot needs to retain the lead, but I have a feeling that Some Idiot just doesn't have the pace around this track to get the jump on Raven.
I don't think he does. Not on this race. We're seeing another pass here, though.
He is up by 18 seconds, but that time is falling. But look at Mikey and Fluffy Dave, all of them fighting it. The Toro Rosso drivers very aggressive throughout turn 6.
It's the battle of the super softs versus the softs in that setup. Raven coming out on the softs, we should mention as well. So looking to make a long run here. 27 laps on this. I think that's stretching it.
17.
Yeah, 17. I'm sorry, 17 laps. My bad. Caster math. Hello.
Caster math. We're Americans. Don't blame us.
I like to blame LA County. for their very excellent schools.
I like to thank Lone Star Beer for making me confused. As we stop plugging in other stuff, Frost Taco has retired. That is terminal damage in Sector 3. What happened to Frost Taco?
I don't know. We're not going to be able to actually see what happened either, because
I think that might have been a what do you call it? A pit lane incident. Because I don't see her car on the track in Sector 3 anywhere. As some idiot going for another lap on the super soft tires. Raven is just gaining arm and leg on some idiot. So I don't know why he was staying out on those tires. He is losing ground. The best way to gain a position here in France, if you don't have the pace, is to undercut, and Raven decided to block that undercut and undercut himself. And he's just gaining time by that. Somebody is going to come out of this pit stop, and he'll probably be neck and neck with Kingy AV, judging by his pace. But speaking of coming out right now, we got a three-way battle. It's Mikey, Manku, and Spider down the back straight into the chicane. All three of them locked up, but they all kept it clean. Manku doing a little bump and running right now, but look at Spider launching his car, trying to find any ERS and any slipstream that he can to fling his car on the inside of Manku. He thought about it.
Oh, Manku spins!
Oh, Manku has spun it. Does he keep it out of the wall? Yes, he does.
Sick drift.
Good drift. Fast and Furious and some Hollywood directors will be proud of that. So, nice one.
Vin Diesel's
not nice to your tires, though. Pirelli is going to be like, what you doing?
I'm sure Vin Diesel is clapping somewhere after that sick drift.
Or that some idiot has died into the pits, actually. Well, I don't know who would be clapping and be like, yeah, pit stop. But look at Fluffy Dave and some idiot battling as Kingy AV inherits second place from some idiot. But Fluffy Dave might try a little move on one of his good pals, some idiot. These two drivers race with each other for a while, and they know each other, but some idiot on those fresh super soft tires just leaving Fluffy Dave behind as Sharkbait 98 heads into the pits.
As you can see now, Raven has opened up an 8.2 second lead over Kingy AV. I don't think some idiot would be able to catch that up. You should be able to catch Kingy.
Speaking of catching up, I'm sorry for interrupting you. Triton and Mikey are having a side-by-side battle going down the back straight. Who's going to be last of the late breakers? It's going to be Triton as he sneaks it up the inside and just rockets his car down the back straight for P6. Those are good points. Triton on Mikey. 11 laps on those soft tires. You're going to start seeing those that pace just drift off. That was a Williams car going extremely wide. I don't know if that was a Lundqvist bro or it is Lundqvist.
No, it's Lundqvist.
Lundqvist doesn't even have a front wing.
Right, yeah.
Probably need to go into a bit for that.
Yeah, probably a bit.
It's kind of you kind of need a downforce to this, but you know, it is weight saving.
It's weight saving, yeah. It's also aero saving. The problem is that said aero actually makes you turn, especially with the fact that these cars have absolutely no weight.
That is true. Let's go on board with the new driver, Jallydun and Muddy Water having a battle for P10, a crucial point. Jallydun, 11 laps only. He's actually heading to the pits.
Oh
man, I was getting excited. Oh, and he gets a 5-second stop go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Oh, that is tough.
Yeah, he must have missed the button on the wheel. Ouch.
Let's go on board some idiot for the battle for P2 right now. Williams versus McLaren. Some idiot getting a good exit, sitting in that slipstream. Where does some idiot and Kingy AV come out as they go through turn 10? But these guys just keeping it front wing to gearbox throughout turn 11. Some idiot not looking for any risky moves, but he knows he has to get past Kingy AV if he wants to try it. And also just realize some idiot's going for a 2-stop. Somebody is on super soft tires. He started on super soft tires, so he might switch to ultra soft tires at the end of this race for a different strategy as King AVs is slowly holding him up. As somebody is going to look for a move on this front straight, opens up DRS. It's drag racing as he sets the fastest lap, dives down the inside into turn 1. Ladies and gentlemen, somebody is in P2 and he's on a charge for Raven. Some might say he is bird hunting.
I see what you did there.
Little Texas charm in there. It's sad that Raven's not known as Duck. That would be even better. But I'll take Raven. That gap to Raven is actually falling down once some idiot got clear of King AV, so he's going to use these next 10 laps to gain as much time as he can on Raven and see if he can hopefully get past him at some point and just make that two-stop work.
I mean, 13 laps, I'm assuming that Raven will need to come in as well. So if that's the case, then yeah, I mean, some idiot was going to have to run hard on those ultra softs there towards the end in order to potentially catch him. But honestly, Raven, he is so quick, and he's going to go for the undercut again, I'm sure.
Raven is going for the one stop since he started on those super soft tires and went straight to the softs. He'll be going for the standard one stop that I mentioned before the race. That is the confirmed faster strategy by some of the top guys, but
okay,
you never know in the US. You see some weird stuff. Speaking of seeing stuff, some idiot sets a blistering time of 1:33 as Lundqvist bro has retired from the session in sector 2. I think he just spun on the back of the straight out of turn 9 and just lost his car. Let's go on. Oh, car just went straight on. That's Pranky trying to get out of some idiot's way. Pranky almost colliding in with the Williams of some idiot. Oh, some idiot must have been like, what the heck is this guy doing? Because he lost a ton of time due to that lapped car, so.
Just sawing at the wheel. You know, I'll be honest with you, we do see some issues with traffic in other leagues and in some of the other games that we bring to you guys on YouTube. Don't really see that too much here. It's one of the first times that I can think of where a lapped car has kind of found himself in the way of an oncoming hiring, you know, just a car that's way ahead of him. I don't understand what exactly happened there. No, I wanted to say higher positioned. That's the word I was looking for. Oh,
a faster paced car.
I'm so good at this when I don't have my Stream Deck.
That's why we are sponsored by Stream Deck, so you are on your A game when you have it.
Yeah, when I have it, but tonight I don't. Unfortunately, I could not get that thing set up properly. This is what I get for experimenting.
We all experiment sometimes. As that was, I believe, I don't know which, that was Z-Womp. He was looking to go into the pits. He decided, I'm gonna stay on these ultra soft tires and just follow some idiot. Or he was just letting him through anyway, but Z-Womp sitting in 17th place as he gets lapped by the Williams, who is 9 seconds behind of the leader. And 4 laps on these super soft tires as, oh, that's rain! Rain is falling from the sky! Are you getting this, or am I going crazy?
No, I mean, I can see there's fog. I haven't seen rain yet. Oh, there it goes.
I see rain droplets.
Just a little bit, yeah. This is going to get really interesting with just about 10 laps to go. Now the strategy changes. Do you stay out for as long as you can, go on to the inters, or do you jump on the intermediates now? That is the question. Honestly, when I was sim racing, I always struggled with this.
It's always a gray zone when you see water falling from the sky, but no, there is still not enough water on the track to just hold down your tires, just making them start slipping. I would say once you see the rain, start thinking about the pit, like what position you are on the track, where you are on the track. If you just pass the pit lane and it just starts raining, dive into the pits next lap. If you see cars start kicking up water, dive into the pits. But
yeah,
somebody might take a risk right here Never mind, he goes flying by the pits because in here we kind of got the whole DRS issue. Once DRS is disabled, that's like kind of a saying, hey, track is unsafe for DRS. Everybody should come into the pits right now. Speaking of going to the pits, Z-Womp is diving to the pits for soft tires. I don't know if you looked up at the sky, or is it going to be this gray area of showers as yellow flags are being thrown about right now, as I believe that is Max KZR Racing and Muddy Water having a battle. Triton and Spider also having a battle, but look at Max KZR Racing diving into the pits. He might be going on to the intermediate tires. Yes, Water's being kicked up. Everyone, pit crews are scrambling. The intermediate tires are coming out. Max KZR Racing, first driver to pull out onto the intermediate tires. The pit crews are going all over the place in the Paul Ricard. Extremely weird pit lane, I must say.
Oh, big slide! Contact right there between Triton and Spider. Triton just went way wide, basically drifted around the chicane there, and nearly took out Spider there in the Ferrari.
Yeah. Ooh. The water is becoming a effect as cars are just sliding all over the place. This track becomes a certainly different type of beast whenever it gets wet. Corners you take flat out, you have to take it half throttle. You have to brake in the middle of some corners. Heck, don't even get me started on the entire first sector. Stuff that you take usually in 5th gear, you're taking in 2nd gear. Like, it's just so different that the water is now affecting all these drivers. Some idiots still staying out. All these super softs saying, I haven't seen the DRS enable flag, and he's actually got a good enough pace. He is gaining on Raven, who's struggling for grip on these soft tires. It's a tad bit. Let's go back to Triton and Spider. I don't think you left them.
No, I did.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, we're fine. Go ahead.
Let's go back to Triton and Spider as they're having a little battle throughout Sector 1 as Spider's actually approaching Fluffy Dave. Another yellow flag pops out as more people, Prankies, hopped on to the intermediate tires. Look at Triton and Spider. Triton trying to dive it up the inside. He's trying to go for grip. Spider losing it, diving off the track. May be a very dangerous release as they make contact. Spider's getting thrown across the track by the wheel-to-wheel contact from Triton and him on that unsafe re-entry by Spider. Really, he kind of walked into that, didn't look where Spider was on track as, oh, that was an Alfa Romeo. That was Altney. Yeah, that was Altney as Fluffy Dave is kind of dodged a bullet. Let's go. I'm going to look at the leaders right now. Raven, seeing that you can see water on the racing line. Does Raven dive into the pits right now? No, Raven is staying out. Some idiot. What is the American dream? Some idiot thinking. He kind of gave himself that nickname. No, he didn't. I gave him that nickname.
No, he gave himself the nickname. You don't have to cover for him. It's fine.
No, I seriously gave him that nickname.
That is the worst nickname I've ever heard. The American dream, some idiot.
He's the only. It's funny. He was the only American in the European as Fluffy Dave and Triton, both of them heading to the pits. Fluffy Dave taking out the pit board. That shows you how little grip that they have, as it's about 8 laps remaining here in France. As, oh no, Fluffy Dave is being held up in the pit box by Casper the Ghost, but he is coming out of the pits right now, so I don't know what the heck's happening there, but he's on the intermediate tires. I say it's now time to change. What do you say?
Yeah, no, good call on the intermediates. Get you to the end of the race. Doesn't look like the rain is going absolutely insane right now.
Oh, Jolly Dun spun it into the wall. Sorry to interrupt you. Actually, reset his car into the... Oh, Jolly Dun.
Oh, Manku is also spinning.
Oh, DRS has been disabled. Jolly Dun's in the wall. Manku has binned it into the wall right now, but he's actually saved his tires. But Jolly Dun, losing his front wheel, retires from his first race in the AOR Hype Energy F1 American League. Hopefully everything is better for him in Austria. So, with the DRS disabled side out, we should start seeing Raven making his way into the pits. And yes, he is doing that. Now remember, he lost this way for speeding in the pit lane. He does not get a penalty in there. Some idiot diving into the pits behind Raven. The gap is there. Now, Raven going out onto the intermediate tires. Some idiot trying to close that gap, going out onto the intermediate tires as well, as the race has turned into a wet weather management race. As Spider is driving in the red track, trying to camouflage his Ferrari as he's getting his car back into the pits. Oh, Spider getting a little bit loose. Full wets. Altony going on the full wets. That is a very interesting strategy. Maybe Altony knows something that we don't, that it's going to be a very wet and wild ride coming at the end of the race. Fluffy Dave making an overtake on Spider for pitting earlier on those intermediate tires, but the fight is still in between Some Idiot and Raven. 7 seconds separate them, but one mistake could be this race.
Honestly, it's so easy to make a mistake here in the rain. It does have, the track I should say, does have some very tricky corners. There may not be a lot of undulation into the track at all, but being able to knock that speed down and keep it under control in these cars, as well as accelerating out of some of these corners, can be very, very tricky. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't really seen too much racing in the rain on this particular game, so I would imagine that the drivers will want to actually stay off of the racing line, because it will be more slippery than it would be offline, at least for a little while.
I don't believe that is simulated in F1 2018, but I'm not good at this game, so I'm not. Don't take my word as God. I don't sim race. Last time I touched sim racing in the rain, I lasted one corner.
Ooh.
So, yeah, that just shows you my skill. But some idiot making his way through the lapped cars as he's chasing down Raven, and he's actually gaining so much time on the Ferrari that this might actually turn into a last lap wet pass, as Kane Jr. and Intergalactic Gentleman having a battle for P12 right ahead of Some Idiot. Blue flags are out for them. Some idiot approaching these lap cars who are having a battle. Hopefully they don't interfere with his race. Some idiot flies past Kane Jr. as Intergalactic Gentleman parks it on the apex, and Kane Jr. takes advantage of the blue flags and passes it around the outside of Intergalactic Gentleman for P12. Some idiot not held up at all. Max K0 Racing, as Mankiw has retired from the race. What a disastrous race. What a disastrous result for Mankiw right there.
Yeah, no kidding. He was looking very quick, making a few passes here and there, and he just couldn't hold it together in the rain, it seems.
Speaking of holding it together in the rain, the Muddy Water. Speaking, has H2O in his name. He should be good in the rain.
You would
but
think.
Max K0 Racing is closing in on the Mercedes, just slightly in sector 3, but he had a bit of a tail flick on the exit of turn 13, and that kind of ruined his lap right there. But he is still within striking distance of the Muddy Water.
So one of the tricks on these tracks, when they start to get a little bit slick, you kind of have to gear up more than you would think you would. Obviously the track is wet. It's straight out wet as mud. Oh my God, muddy. Nice little slide there. But
oh, he's experimenting with track limits right now.
No kidding. But honestly, you kind of want to gear up as you accelerate out of a corner. You don't want to let the engine rev out and get into its crazy power band. You just want the grip more than anything else, and use the torque that these things can produce to get yourself out of the hole. It's going to be slower. You will feel slow, but it is the fast way in the rain.
Yeah, you will feel a bit slow than normal. I've seen actually a few strategies where drivers actually shift up instead of say the last corner, you would usually shift down to second gear and hit the accelerator.
Right.
What I was seeing is some guys shift up to fourth gear heading into the last corner as they slowly rev up the engine and avoid spinning their back wheels and throwing the car into the wall.
Yep.
To keep more grip on the tires.
Yeah, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't want to heat these tires up at all. Spinning them obviously will heat them up. And not only that, you're going to lose your grip. You're not going to get any forward motion going. Yes, it's not the fastest way to get out of a corner, but you have to think about the rest of the race. These tires do grip well in corners when it's intermediately wet, because we're all on intermediates at this point. And you do have to kind of take that into account. Direction change and keeping that said change will be okay as long as you don't go too fast, obviously, but it's the acceleration factors. Those things really add up on these particular tires, as well as lockups. Lockups become extremely worse compared to another tire.
Lockups and spinning the wheels are certainly not good. I'm watching the onboard of Raven and some idiot as they're coming through the very last corner. Raven kept to the second gear as some idiot shifted up to the third gear, and I was watching their exit. Some idiot is a bit smoother on the exit as he has closed down that gap to just about under 6 seconds. So the lead is falling to Raven, who's not comfortable in the wet on this track, as some idiot may have done some practice in the wet as he's just fighting the wheel for grip right now. So that lead is falling down, or it was falling down, as somebody has got that ERS just cranked up all over the place.
Yeah, he's working the knob a little bit too. Try to make sure that he's just using the engine by itself and turning on the electronic assist through certain sections of each individual part of the track. So between corners, that's the other thing. He doesn't want that ERS to kick on. Oh, he gets sideways though. Nice save, I have to admit.
Very nice save from some idiot. As the wet tires have made their appearance again, this time on the muddy water. He might be thinking, hey, I'm not having the best of grips right now. The rain is not coming down as hard as you would for full wet tires, but the spray coming off those tires is a lot. So it might actually be a good strategy. It might be coming down even harder, as we saw some idiot who I've never really seen him lose control of the car, as Raven is still leading this race. Increased his gap 7.7 seconds, but that is falling. So maybe the wets are a good strategy move by the muddy water.
I don't know.
We will see.
I think it's more along the lines of he can't find grip at this point, and he feels that the tires are either just done. We also saw him slide quite a bit, so that might have just fried out the tires. We don't really know exactly what he is thinking at this point, but if you're going to try to get some experience in a race, you might as well toss on the wets and see what happens. Maybe the track isn't quite wet enough, but like you said, there is a lot more spray coming off of these intermediates, and usually intermediates don't really last that long, and if you fried them like Mud did, well, yeah, you might as well come in and change them and see how the car reacts under wets.
He is sitting in points, by the way, and he's got Heineken 1.76 seconds behind him, which has jumped up the time a little bit. But when he said he wasn't finding any grip, to be honest, no one's finding any grip. I've been seeing all these cars sliding around. Raven's been sliding around. Some idiot we saw hit. What happened to him? Kinky AV's been sliding around. Fluffy Dave's been sliding around. I'm going to go around the entire order to say everyone's been sliding around in this rain, because rain practicing is kind of difficult, because you're going to be like, hey, I'm going to go out to practice, but I want to get my weather patterns right.
Right. Well, the thing is, though, is, you know, we're talking about muddy water here. He doesn't have the experience that many of the other guys have, such as some idiot or Raven, things like that. So to him, it's time to put on wets. And I'll be honest with you, he is looking quite a bit more stable, and I think he might be just getting a little bit more feel as to how the car is reacting with these wet tires.
I'm right on board with Raven right now. He's actually right behind muddy water, and if you got particle effects on, Raven's entire view is just full of spray. Muddy water is actually pulling away from Raven. Some idiot has lowered that gap to 5.8 seconds as he was dealing with that last spot, but Muddy Water is still ahead of Raven. I think Muddy Water was right about that tire choice, since it looks like he's having more grip than Raven right now.
Look at the spray.
As Raven That spray is just ridiculous. I think it is the wet tires being the ultimate tires right now, as Raven has to get past muddy water right there. But you don't. Oh, muddy water, muddy water, muddy water. In the wall, and he's out. Oh,
I can't even switch to him. Oh no.
Yeah, he's out. You can't switch to the car that's out. But he was side by side with Raven. Cocked it a little bit onto the curbs and just it just lost it on that point.
I was hoping that Mud was going to be able to actually catch him back through a corner or something like that, but Mud was having issues in that corner earlier in the race as well. So I'll be honest, it's not really surprising that he whipped it around at that point, but he was having such a good race, doing very well, much better than we've seen him do pretty much all season. So good on Mud. Hopefully he'll be able to take a little bit of that momentum into the next one.
I believe Mud's highest position was third. He did make it onto the podium in Azerbaijan.
Oh, he did. Okay, that's right. Baku. I always forget about Baku.
Everyone forgets about Baku, as we saw a Force India on the inside of Sector 1. I don't know if that was Alt-C or Sharkbait. They're both in the race, so it makes it kind of hard for me to lower it down to just one guy. But some idiot, 5 seconds flat on ACR Raven. 2 laps to go. 4.9 seconds. The gap is falling. Some idiot knows how to find the grip. As all eyes are on Raven, honestly, as he's just trying to hold the grip and hold his position as much as he can and not get a penalty. I don't believe Raven has a penalty. I'm gonna take a look at that actually.
We have not seen any penalties from Raven this time out. Now, if you remember last race, there were quite a bit of penalties there in Canada. Just pushing the line all the way through, and some idiot was actually able to win the race simply based off of penalties. And I think Raven took that lesson to heart. And I have not seen any penalties, probably a couple of warnings. I wouldn't imagine anybody not having warnings at a track like this.
He does have 2 warnings. Raven and some idiot, both of them have 2 warnings.
Okay.
So if they make a mistake and they go slightly off track, cut the corner just a tad bit on this last lap, a warning will be issued for Raven. I mean, a penalty will be issued, a 3-second penalty, but some idiot also has 2 warnings as well, so they have to keep it clean as a whistle.
So
as we enter the last lap, let's keep our eyes on Raven.
Yeah.
As the ball's in his court, it's his race to lose.
Here's the thing, okay? You're talking about track limits and things like that. The paint becomes very slick. The curbs become extremely slick. They're going to want to stay off of them anyways. They're just going to want to stay away from the edges of the track as much as they can, other than that is kind of the line that you would take through a corner anyways. So I don't expect either of them to get any sort of penalty from here on out, especially there on this last lap. Raven knows he's got it won as long as he can keep it clean. On the inters in this rain, good luck.
Yeah, good luck to some idiot and Raven. The championship fight, 22 separates them in the championship with this win. If this order stays the same, that championship will fall down, as I believe we completely forgot to do driver of the day as we were just so caught up with that.
Yeah, that we did. We did forget to do driver of the day. Whoops.
I actually still have the link, so you can actually vote for. Nope, that is the link to the YouTube. This.
Oh, Raven nearly going to. No, holds it in. Oh, he just held it online.
Raven almost losing it right there. The time is falling. No penalties were initiated to Raven as he's just slowly moving it around the final corner. Raven hits the gas, races ahead in victory as Raven takes the win, and it fires back at somebody saying, "Take that. I'm closing the gap to first," as Raven takes the win. Somebody in second. There's the wait, no, that's not the driver of the day. We never got a driver of the day link.
Yeah, we didn't get a link, unfortunately. Next, tune in next week to be able to vote on the driver of the day. I had a couple of votes. Unfortunately, those votes crashed themselves out, so they don't get my vote. So, haha.
Joke's on yourself.
Oh.
But somebody does have the fastest lap of 133. let's just take a look at the position changes so far. As let's actually look at Spider and Triton. Oh wait, they are battling. Everyone's just slowly making their way back as cars are just managing the way. Intergalactic Gentleman coming across the line right now. Bit of a lap down. Sharkbait unfortunately didn't reconnect to the session. His ghost car is going to come across in 12th. Max KZR Racing is slowly making his way around the track. Spider gets a 5-second time penalty for unserved stop go.
Oh,
but here, okay, Frost is a guy, not a girl.
They're doing that. That's why
I hate people in chat. I was doubting it.
This is why you don't listen to them until you actually confirm. That said, ACR Raven, a fantastically well-run race. Didn't get the start he was looking for, but managed to come home with it. In the rain, on the inters, when we had drivers going out onto the wets, he raises his fist in triumph. The Ferrari driver looking absolutely strong and looking to carry that momentum into the next one, taking on some idiot. The championship race has lit up, as I don't know why you'd want to be sprayed with champagne in the rain, honestly.
Yeah, spraying the champagne in the rain's serving two purposes: a refreshing bath and a, I don't know, good cologne, I guess. It's tradition. They have a roof over their head. They're waving. They're all smiling. They're like, "Hey, we finished on the podium." So it's Raven, Some Idiot, and Kiki AV. As I'm getting you some good rewards right now.
I know. I just saw that too. That's a new one. I have not seen that since we've started commentating. I wasn't expecting it. I was expecting to see the board right here. And honestly, Raven, Some Idiot, Kingy AV having a great run in 3rd place. Fluffy Dave taking 4th, and Triton with a 5th. Well earned indeed.
The top 4 qualified and finished in the top 4. All of them stayed in the same spot. So good solid race from all those guys. Triton finishing in 5th. Spider in 6th. Mikey in 7th. Max KZR Racing and Heineken up there in 9th. But Kane Jr.
That's the one.
Started 18th. Finished in 10th. Moved up 8 places for a point.
Got his point on a 3-stopper, too. He had to take 3 stops through that, and he manages a 10th place. Fantastic job there,
Just, wow. He's followed by Intergalactic Gentleman, Sharkbait 98, Z-Womp, and Prinky in P14. The Muddy Water in 15th. Altsney, 16th. Mancu, 17th. Jolly Dun, 18th. Lundquist Bro, 19th. And Frost Taco, who... he pulled a Nicky Lauda and said, I can't race on this track. I'm going to retire to avoid any further incidents, which Nicky Lauda did do in the Japanese Grand Prix for the championship against James Hunt.
Yep.
I caught myself there. But congratulations to ACR Raven, as we are in the AOR Discord, so let's see if one of those guys are ready for the interview. We'll wait for them to actually say they're ready for the interview before we can drag them on. So, what a very, very entertaining race. Certainly the race that we were not expecting. The championship points are affected as Raven does close in on Some Idiot by 7 points, so the gap from 22 points, if my American math goes on, that is a 15-point gap between 1st and 2nd place. Some Idiot still leads the championship going on into Austria.
Yeah, no, this championship is hotting up there at the front, and honestly, everybody's just jockeying for position in the midfield as well. Basically, at this point, if you can finish a race and get some points, you'll be looking pretty good. And honestly, start stringing those together, and you never know what's going to happen. Especially when I don't think we were expecting rain.
I'm going to be honest, that was the last thing I was expecting. I was expecting, like, sharks to fly onto the track and eat somebody more than I was expecting rain.
Well, you know what usually comes with that, right?
Tornadoes.
Tornadoes. You know what comes to tornadoes? Rain.
I was expecting. You know what? I was close to my prediction.
Yeah, close enough.
I got 1/3 of it.
It's close enough. See if we can get an interviewee in here.
Yeah, hopefully they can get out of their little debrief at the end of the race, being like, "What the heck? Who put the rain on?" But hopefully Raven and some idiot will want to hop in here. Maybe we can get Kenyon in here as well.
Yeah, we'll have to see. So, guys, obviously I've turned off the effects at this point. We're not at the track. So what do you think? Would love some feedback in the chat. Hit us up on Twitter, too. I mean, willing to try a couple of things. Obviously, there is no post-production here because it's all done live. So I'm having to do this in real time and with new equipment. So if you have any suggestions, concerns, traumas, or blown out speakers, let us know, because we don't want to blow out your speakers
or bleed your ears.
Or, well, I mean, kind of do, in a way.
Well, Raven is ready to go into the commentary box. He's joined by some idiots. So let's bring both these guys in here. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome after a wet, wild race. I'm pretty sure both of you were not expecting rain.
We were.
Thank you for informing us.
You're quite welcome.
I wish my insider information with you and I knowing each other, or you just wanted to mess with me.
I should have told you it was going to start snowing.
Now
that is still raining in some way.
Raven, what do you think, man? Heck of a race, huh?
Oh yeah. I gotta really, first off, just gotta thank my ACR teammate Jan Failer for putting together a pretty good dry setup there, and was able for me to just kind of pull away at the beginning, which made it a lot easier in the end when things kind of got crazy with the rain, and then the rain got heavier in the last couple laps, and then I was sitting on 2 warnings for I think the last 20 laps of the race, so it was always just that fine balance of being able to, you know, hang on to the lead, not push too hard, and get penalties, which cost me the win, like in Canada.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm glad you brought that up, because it did seem like you learned your lesson a little bit, I'd have to say.
Both of you are flirting with disaster on the last lap, by the way, with you kind of going off the track and losing it just a little bit. I was going to be honest, if you re-enter that track at that speed, you might have got a penalty and lost a lot of time to some idiot, but some idiot also had 2 warnings as well. But both you guys just had a extremely clean race between you two, and yeah, this very nice race.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, like some idiot was saying, kind of amongst all the drivers afterwards. I mean, it was just like a dirt oval type of session, especially on those last couple laps. I mean, you're just skating around like it was on ice. I mean, it was very stressful, but obviously a ton of fun when you were able to keep it pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, keeping it pointed in the right direction is always good. Let's talk to some idiot. He's got a bit of experience on dirt ovals, I believe.
No, I've never driven like a World Outlaws car or anything, but I know how it drives. So.
Oh wait, I have the experience in dirt ovals.
Well, how do you not remember that?
I have brain damage.
Okay, I'll let you off this time. But question?
You seem to be in control of your car in the rain. Did you practice in the rain at all? Because you were gaining arm and a leg on Raven. It was about 8-9 seconds, and you lowered that down to at 1.4 to Raven.
I did a whole total of 4 time trial laps. I always like to do a good amount of wet time trial, but I didn't do it for this track because, well, I just didn't have the time, unfortunately. But no, it was actually a lot of fun. I was hustling the car pretty good. I felt like I was trying to I was getting the nose pointed in and kind of getting the rear to slide a little bit. Like driving a World Outlaws car. You just kind of get the nose to point in, the car to slide. I think I was doing 42s when I wasn't going opposite lock into the winding right-hander. I hope you guys caught me one time when I went like I had to went slideways through the corner and I had to go left to turn right.
We saw a bit of drifting action from a few drivers.
But you should have caught that. I thought I was gonna kill it there. I nearly killed it twice in the same spot. Nearly, like exact same thing. Just bombed corner entry way too hard, and the car started sliding off on me. But I just barely got it.
Turn 11, right?
Turn 11, the winding right-hander.
The carousel.
Well, I don't know the actual name of it, unfortunately.
Well, that's what I call it.
No,
Well, we'll go with it. If you think that's the corner, that's it. But yeah, I nearly killed it twice. I mean, I can't believe I finished because I felt like I was just gonna go opposite lock straight into a wall.
Well, to first finish points, you must first finish. And speaking of points, the gap between you two for the top of the lead has dropped down to 15 points. Raven, how are you feeling going into Austria?
Well, the last time I raced there, I'm trying to think if I did season 15 there or not, but all I remember is I was challenging Temp for a podium there in season 14 on 2017, so I should have pretty good pace, but then again, I've not done a single lap around here around Austria on 2018, so I'll make sure to do some practice and see if I can come out and do the same thing next Sunday.
All right. Some idiot. I also want to say something. You broke the lap record set by Valtteri Bottas. You said a 133 something, but that is faster than Valtteri Bottas. How do you feel about having the record? Some might say
Indifferent. This is a game. This is a game, not real life. This is a game. So I really can't say I care too much.
Hashtag sign him to Mercedes.
But actually, could I answer the question you offered, Raven?
Yes, of course.
Okay, I love Austria. Probably my favorite track on the game. I'm going to be coming out guns a-blazing if I can. I want to win.
All right, you heard here first. Some idiot wants to win. Raven wants to just keep that points tally down and probably show up to some idiot. Anything y'all want to say before we head off?
Let's get this championship battle closer. Got a couple of races I need to win here and try to make it more interesting.
Spain 2016. That's it.
Oh. Fighting words. We might have a Nico Rosberg, Lewis Hamilton last lap collision then.
First lap? It's the first lap, not the last lap. Are you thinking about Austria 2016 then? Yes.
Well, it's the same year, same type of incident between.
I should have brought up Austria 2016 then. My bad.
Yeah.
But there you go.
Gentlemen, thank you for stopping on by. I think we're going to go ahead and call it a wrap here, and I believe this will be the wrap for the weekend here at AOR. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you have any feedback on, all the feedback probably, I think, let us know on Twitter. Hit us up at Apex on Racing on the Twitter. You can hit me up at NinjaRider RL. Austin, I believe you are on the Twitters as well.
Yeah, so you can follow me on Twitter at officialaknight. I post things.
Sell out, hashtag sell out.
Hashtag sell out, that's right. So, guys, again, I did add a few effects. I'm trying some different things with the stream to try to add just a little bit of something to it. And if you have any comments or questions or any suggestions, please let us know, and we'll try to work them in for next week. We will see you next time. Thank you for joining us here at Apex Online Racing. We'll see you again.
Y'all have a good night.